Chris, we're back here with another week of Silver Shield Behind the Strike. This week we have two releases coming out July 2nd at noon. For the public, we have the 250th anniversary, continuing the World War meme series. And then for members only, we have Atlas Stack, continuing the Essential Silver series. Now, before we get into the coins, I wanted to start with the silver on the market because the past week has been a little intense. You had the precious metals been under pressure, the Fed rates, expectations, oil, inflation concerns. Silver has dropped a little bit. So, what have you seen? What has been going on for this past week?
So the big part that we're looking at right now is the 200-day moving average of silver. We've watched silver run up to go to $121 in January, and it's now crashed below down to about $60, about halfway retracement of that move that was originally out of a 45-year cup and handle formation that finally took us past $50. So anywhere between 50 and 60 is a retracement that is just building a backlog for another big move. This is an exciting time to be involved in buying physical silver right now because silver's for sale. There's not too many other assets out there that aren't at their all-time highs, and that's what the end of the everything bubble is. That everything is going to be at an all-time high, and silver's going to end up going up in value over all the other assets out there at the exact same time. So this week we have the 250th anniversary um, coin that's being released. So that's a Silver Shield MiniMintage, and I look forward to having that one come out.
Now, do you see this pullback as like another paper market takedown, or do you think it's something bigger underneath the surface?
It's
Or
definitely a paper manipulation because we're going on 6 years of having a mining supply deficit where we've used more silver than above ground than we have, and then we're constantly digging into the whole Earth's stockpiles of that we've mined throughout all time in history. Just over these past 6 years, we've been mining at a deficit, and it's not going to get any better with the way the prices are. It needs to have a sustained higher money value of silver to bring about wiser use and more mining online. So that's one of the things that I keep looking forward to. That there's going to be a massive price increase, and I can't think of too many assets out there that are easily going to double in value, and that's where we are with silver at 60 right now.
now I know we kind of touched this on a previous week, but for stackers watching the price move, how should they think about this movement in dollars or in ounces?
Definitely, most stackers once they wake up want to increase their ounce count, and I'm the most extreme end of silver stacking with what I do with the MiniMintage on a weekly basis at Chris Duane SilverShieldCoins.com. That really is about putting up the quality of your ounces that you have. And a lot of people get worn out old silver dollars and count it as a 7/10 of an ounce, or generic bullion, government bullion. They print hundreds of millions of this exact same coin and act like it's got some numismatic value in it. But when the Silver Shield MiniMintage comes out every week, we only pre-sell what we order, or what is sold, so there's no overhang, and that they immediately go up for value on eBay because the stackers that buy them may or may not turn around and flip them, and if they do, they're going to want a higher premium than what they paid for retail on Chris Duane SilverShieldCoins.com. So they tend to go up in price and value faster when the price of silver goes up, and then also when the price of silver goes down. That's when you really notice that, hey, my silver didn't dump as much as the American Eagle would have dumped, or a Maple Leaf would have dumped the same amount of money to spend in there. They actually hold up their value over time. So I believe that one day we're going to have a major breakthrough for Silver Shield where I'm going to get onto a major podcast and wake up millions of people that will suddenly go to eBay and go online, and they'll suddenly wake up and buy their very first ounce of Silver Shield. And that's going to cause a tremendous pull flip of wealth from intangible debt-based digital illusions into more tangible real wealth like physical silver and Silver Shield in particular.
All right, so let's go into the public release for this week. So we have the 250th anniversary. So the visual, it does have the classic American feel. It has the eagle, Liberty Bell, shows the years from 1776 till now, 2026. It does look patriotic, but knowing Silver Shield, there's usually a deeper message underneath it. When you design this coin, were you approaching it more just for a celebration, 250th, or is there another deeper message with them?
Yeah, there's definitely always a deeper message with it, but to having it as a 250th anniversary, and this isn't the only one I'm going to do. I think next week I have another two that come out, relative similar designs. But when you do this design and you're covering this date with this stuff, there's certain things you have to have on the coin. You have to have the Liberty Bell, the Eagle, the 250th. You have to show the 1776 and the 2026 picture on there. So that these are all things that needed to be squished onto this coin. But this will be around for, generational wealth. Like you pass it down to your kids. And the way I looked at, the centennial of 1776 or 1976, bicentennial that we had there, that was a big time for American history. I don't feel like we have as much patriotic fervor as we did back in 1770 or 1976 this time around, but there's definitely momentum out there for the 250th anniversary to celebrate, 250 years of American exceptionalism.
Now, this is part of the World War meme series. Now, of course, the coin does not look like a meme or a joke or doesn't have anything like that embedded. It does look more like a serious or historic piece.
Hmm.
Is there a meme or a message hidden inside of this? Was that any reason why it's on the series, or was it just placed into the series?
Well, it's just placed into the series because I don't really have another series for it to go to that easily. But the whole point of World War Meme is that World War III is not going to be fought by nuclear weapons or even conventional arms. It's going to be fought through mind warfare. And that World War Meme was the idea that these images that were put on these current coins are going to be the greatest truth put on eternal silver, and that this is going to stay above the censored platforms that I have. This is the last medium that I have available to put, ideas out there that belong a larger platform, and that the physical silver shield is the coin and the meme and the message to do that. So.
All right, so we're going to go into the members only release. So, part of the members only, we're looking at Atlas Stacker.
Hmm.
All right, and this one is a totally complete opposite of the 250th for the public. The coin looks outwards at America and Liberty, and the visuals, is great how you replaced what he's holding in his hand of pure AG silver.
Hmm.
And what was your concept? What was your vision behind this design?
This one is, I think, like a gut design that this is what it feels like to stack physical silver in the digital illusion world. Like you're taking on a task, a weight, a burden, something real that you need to transfer from one generation to another. And that I think physical silver stackers, once they get going, tend to realize that their wealth is real and material and tangible, and that this is the silver that has got more patents associated with it than all the other metals combined, and that this is carrying forth a legacy that you're trying to continue for your family to have real tangible wealth outside the digital illusion system. And I'm telling you that this transference of wealth from intangible debt-based digital illusions of wealth into real tangible wealth is going to be the largest transference of wealth the world has ever seen, both in the collapse of the digital illusion world and also the ascendance tangible world. And I think silver is going to be at the absolute apex of this liquidity pyramid that John Exeter, who's a former Federal Reserve banker, talked about Exeter's liquidity, talking about what the value of assets are during a crisis, and that the most illiquid assets are going to not find a market and be worth nothing essentially, and that the most tangible things are going to find the most liquidity and go up in value exponentially. And I think silver is at the very peak of this. Gold will be close behind, but silver is definitely going to be able to take the lead from all other assets out there, and that this coin is really a design for the people who have been stacking silver for as long as I have, at least 15, 20 years. And it's like a burden that you're carrying this, but it's all going to pay off one day when this turns around. And I think this coin will be one that their fathers are going to pass to their sons as a symbolic coin to show what it was like for the father to carry that silver through very difficult times where you'd want to sell, take profits or do something, but you held tight and sold all your other assets to hold on to your physical silver, because that's ultimately what's going to be worth the most at the end.
Now, it's funny because you actually touched on my next question a little bit. Within your description for the coin, it does talk about stacking as a discipline, as a sacrifice, and long term vision. So, a lot of people only talk about silver in price, right? That's literally the majority of the people
Hmm.
literally watching it like it's a stock market instead of what it really should be looked as. Why is it important to show the burden behind stacking and how it's not just
The positioning of Atlas, instead of carrying the world, you're carrying silver, and that ends up being a replacement for the world. That all your hopes and dreams and everything are pushed into this one asset class that you've been holding on to and been told that it's never going to be worth anything. And then we finally got this breakthrough through 50, which we're just now coming through. We went from 50 to 120, net back to 60, or 55, somewhere around there. That and this is just the beginning, because when you looked at Weimar Germany and their hyperinflation, they went from 80 to 60 Deutschmarks, and then all of a sudden went to 250 to 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000 to a million to 100 million to 100, to a billion to 100 billion, and then eventually to a trillion marks per ounce of silver. And that's where the hyperinflation is, and that's what I think ultimately we're going to have, because it's a global generational debt-based fiat Ponzi scheme that we have. So the whole world is built up on this. That's why it's called the everything bubble. So the everything bubble is going to collapse relative to the price of silver, and silver's just going to keep going up dramatically until it sells out. And I think at some point we're going to sell out all of eBay, all of online, and all the three major exchanges of the LBMA, COMEX, and the Shanghai. That we're going to sell out of silver, and that but there's going to be oceans of gold for sale. And I think that's going to be the ultimate switchover for humanity to permanently value silver more than even gold, because there's all the gold that's ever been mined has been treasured and taken care of and valued, whereas all the silver that's been mined has been used and abused as an industrial metal, so much so that we have this deficit over the last 6 years, a mining deficit, where we're using up more silver than we mine. So this is all got to change, and it's going to happen with the price of silver, but it's going to happen with the price of silver to a point where it sells out, that all the weak hands that were going to sell for dollars, that said, oh, I'm going to sell at 50 to 100, 200, they'll sell out, and then there'll be nothing left. That's where I think we're going to get to a place where there's going to be no silver left. And the guys that are stacking like Atlas Stacker here, who held on to their silver, will be eternally rewarded for holding on to their silver to get to this point where you hold past the hyperinflation until there's a new silver standard, until there's a way of transferring your wealth of silver ounces directly for land, labor, stocks, anything at that point. And I think that's what's going to be the ultimate transference of wealth. And at least that's what I'm hoping for, to stick around and be around with Silver Shield holds its crown to the very end.
Now, for somebody new who is just starting to understand Silver Shield, what is the right way to look at these weekly releases? Bullion, art, history, as a protest altogether, or something different?
I definitely think to be a part of the Silver Shield group means that you're supporting me. That's what this comes down to, is that for $7 a month, you get access to the one extra coin that's available for the Silver Shield group only. And my whole point of having a Silver Shield group only coin is to have them be worth even more than the public releases, because you had to pay $7 a month just to be a member of it, and that they're not as openly available as the public coin is. So and I tend to put my more controversial designs or more meaningful designs in the Silver Shield group for them to really appreciate it. And I think over time that these coins end up becoming worth more. So I keep telling people the difference between having an ounce count and a quality of ounce count. You get to a point where you have enough ounces. You're like, okay, if I had to, spend 1/10 of an ounce of silver for a day's worth of labor and wealth and stuff like that, I have enough ounces, but I would rather have more ounces that I would have collectible value and numismatic value, that they go up in value more than the ounce of physical silver. And that's where I think Silver Shield for 15 years has put out over 700 different designs, and that they have completed this huge workout of designs and memes and coins and all sorts of stuff that we've done through Silver Shield, all the conspiracy theories, touching on COVID and the pricks, and with the vaccine and all sorts of stuff that we went through very heady times with Silver Shield. But they all continue to go up in value, and I think that's one of the things. If you're a new time buyer and you find me, you're very lucky, because not many people get involved in silver stacking and end up finding me at the very end. I'm at the very pinnacle. There's nobody above me when it comes to stacking physical silver. I'm the silver maximalist. I put everything I had into this Silver Shield idea for the last 15 years, and there's no one else that's been doing what I've been doing. So when you join the Silver Shield group, you're supporting me in my effort to make silver jubilee, where we end up paying off all the global debt with hyperinflated silver, and that Silver Shield's going to be the very pinnacle of that Exeter's pyramid of $2.5 quadrillion out there of liquidity of assets that are floating around this world, and that eventually they're all going to collapse in the price of silver's going to go up, and Silver Shield's going to be at the very pinnacle of that.
All right, Chris. So for everyone watching during the release window, let's make it simple for them. So where can they go for the public release, for this release coming out 7 to noon, July 2nd, 2026 at noon? We have the 250th anniversary for public, and then we have the members only Atlas Stacker. Like I said, it's coming out July 2nd, 2026 at noon. Where can we go find those at?
Well, you can find everything over at Chris Duane, silvershieldcoins.com. There's a new releases section there, and you can tap the little link to take you to the Golden State Mint website. These are all pre-sold coins that we sell for 1 week only, and that we only mint what we sell, and they tend to go up in price on eBay over time because they very few of them actually reach the secondary market. I think most of the stackers now at this time period of silver stacking are really stacking for themselves and not really looking to flip coins over for paper dollars. They really want to continue to up their ounce count and also the quality of the ounces that they have. So Silver Shield coins come in display cases with a tilt feature. They also come with a certificate of authenticity, piece of felt there to protect the coin, and they all come in capsules. So your coin that you buy today, it's going to look like that 10 years from now. It's not going to oxidize and get discolored over time because of the airtight coin capsule that they're in. So you can find them all over at Chris Duane, silvershieldcoins.com. And if you're looking to further support this message and meaning and this progress that I have, consider joining the $7 a month or $77 a year Silver Shield group site where you can get access to one extra coin every week. And this is for the silver stackers who are the most avid stackers out there. This isn't something, to do once in a while. If you're planning on buying all my coins for every week, the best thing to do is to join the Silver Shield group so you get the access to the kind of more controversial ones or more meaningful ones. Public ones tend to be the more generic designs like you'll see with the 250. Everybody in the country should buy that, but not everybody's going to appreciate the Silver Stacker or Atlas Stacker one that I did for the Silver Shield group this year or this week.
All right, so perfect. So again, go to Chris Duane, silvershieldcoins.com. Check out the new release section. We have 250th anniversary for the public, the Atlas Stacker for Silver Shield group members. These coins are on sale from July 2nd at noon to July 9th at noon, and then we will be seeing 2 more coin releases.
That's right.
So, Chris, again, thank you again for your time and walking us through the story behind these designs. And we'd like to thank everyone for watching, and we'll see everyone for another episode next week for Behind the Stripe.
Thank you.